spirit, Paulo, so what's your plan? If Machi won't testify about it, we'll have to get someone else to testify. Someone else? I think we're out of time. Let's get back in there. Right. Who else will testify? Court is now back in session. Mr. Justice, have you sorted things out with the defendant? Yes, Your Honor. We had a good talk. In English? Very well. So will he testify? Your Honor, the defendant will not testify. What? Shame. And here I thought this was your big chance to turn the case around. Stop making fun of Paulo! Actually, it is. The defense would like to approach this case from a different angle, Your Honor. A different angle? If Machi won't testify, then I know who will. I would like to cross-examine the witness in this case, Lamiroir. Again? Lamiroir? What are you up to now? I thought we determined yesterday that Lamiroir's testimony was insubstantial. There's nothing you can't... Lamiroir was taken to the hospital yesterday with injuries. What happened? She was assaulted, Your Honor. Assaulted? Someone wanted Lamiroir dead. Thankfully, she was able to save herself. What? I've heard no such report. What, Emma never told you? Prosecutor Gavin. Sweat. Why would anyone be out to kill Lamiroir? Can you think of a reason? Well, think of how she is known in our country. A singer from overseas who doesn't speak English, yes? Yet someone tried to keep her mouth shut. Who could that have been? You don't think. I do! It was the same person who shot Miss Latus. The killer was afraid of her, afraid of what she might say. The defense believes that something was hidden in her testimony yesterday. Something that the killer doesn't want getting out. So am I to understand that this is what you are saying? Namely, that there is a nugget of truth in Lamiroir's testimony. A nugget we have yet to uncover? Exactly. Well, Paul. If Lamiroir was attacked, this has serious implications. Very well. There were some vague points in her testimony during yesterday's trial. Perhaps we did not inquire as deeply as we might have into some. The court will hear Lamiroir's testimony once more. I forgot, this part of the case is long. But I think every part of this case is long already. Lamiroir, I must apologize. We must ask you to stand again and speak. You need not apologize. I know that Machi is innocent, and I will do all that I can so the court realizes this. Let's review your testimony from yesterday. You told us you heard 2 gunshots and the shooter's voice through the window, and that the voice belonged to Darren Crescent, yes? That is correct. At which point I proved she could not be correct. She couldn't have heard any of those things. The small window at the scene was closed and was found to be quite soundproof. Please don't tell us that again. You have nothing to say to that, Mr. Justice. Come on, Paulo, back straight. I don't know exactly what yet, but I do know there's something there. There is, it seems, much you do not know. And yet, it is my duty to hear him out. Perhaps the witness would be so kind as to testify once more to the court. Of course, Your Honor. What I heard is what I saw. I was on my way from the backstage exit. That's when I heard them, Miss Latus and the detective. Sorry. I heard the faint sound of a gunshot and stopped. Then I heard another gunshot. There was the smell of gunpowder. I knew I must have someone, but I was in a hurry, so I kept moving past the small window. Still kind of vague to me. Pretty much the same as yesterday's testimony. I'm sorry. I'm not used to speaking much in this language. Perhaps my descriptions are lacking in some way. Probably. Yet everything I have said here is the truth. Then it is my distinct displeasure to say this. What you have said to have happened is impossible. Do I have to repeat myself? Lamiroir's attacked because of this testimony! What? Tracy? Apollo, you know, for a moment there, you were pretty cool. Oh, that's just so cute. They might do better when I don't try to think ahead. Speak first, then think later. Very well, Mr. Justice. Perhaps you can coolly cross-examine the witness. I'll just press everything. Because it's still very vague to me. Is something wrong? I've raised an objection. But she's saying the same thing she said before. You raised a whole and not objection. Mr. Justice, so sorry, it's nothing. Please continue with your testimony. Now I know what they mean about the reckless youth these days. The one in red over there is the shining example, Judge. You're the last person who should be pointing fingers, Mr. Rockstar. Darien Crescent? I did not know his name at the time. But yes, it was him, the one who took the stand yesterday. How many times do I need to remind you that's impossible? There is no way you could have heard him. Because the window at the scene was closed? Is that why? Of course. Apollo, if we keep asking the same questions as yesterday, we won't get anywhere! She's right. Maybe there's a different angle I can try. What were they talking about? Lamiroir, do you by any chance remember what they were saying to each other? If so, please tell us. I have given it much reflection, but I was afraid of this. She doesn't remember. I only heard one phrase clearly. The whole phrase? You remember something that was said? When did you say anything yesterday? Though my memory is clear, I was afraid to speak. You see, I do not understand what was said. This could be it. The clue I've been waiting for. Well, what did he say? It was the other man speaking, not Mr. Lutus. The shooter, then. Darien Crescent. Well, what did he say? Or, well, what did he say? It's over. It's over. Press the switch. Now. Switch? And the shooter said this to the victim, Mr. Lutus? I thought it quite strange myself afterward. It is a mystery. What could it possibly mean? Mr. Justice, care to shed some light on this? I mean, sure, I'd be delighted. It's very vital. Maybe we can add that to the testimony. Maybe, Apollo? Very confident. From the small window, I heard a voice say, "Press the switch and now." And it was Sheriff Darien Crescent's voice? Yes, I am sure of it. It's over. Press the switch. Why would he say that to Mr. Lutus? Apollo! The murder weapon, the revolver was Mr. Lutus's, right? Yeah, what of it? Well, maybe when he said press the switch, he really meant to say pull the trigger. Because his English isn't so good. Darien Crescent's a native speaker! Oh, alright! Sorry, I kind of forgot who was what. Press the switch. That's not something a killer usually says to his or her victim, is it? Was there no one else in the room? I do not know. All I heard was Mr. Lutus and the detective. There was the smell of gunpowder. I knew it must have someone. Okay, I'm just gonna press stuff because I'm kind of confused. There were 2 gunshots. Yes, I heard 2, one after the other. That fits with the bullet holes at the scene. Nothing really new here to pick up. Okay, fine. Now the smell of gunpowder. I don't think I said that before, but I don't know. Why did you tell someone immediately? Well, if it were me, I would have gone to the police right away. It's our duty as citizens. But she's not a citizen. This may be beside the point, but Lamiroir isn't a citizen. Though one would hope such common sense prevails in Virginia as well. Lamiroir seems awfully quiet all of a sudden. That's strange. Could she be hiding something? It is as you say, yet at the time, I was in a hurry, so I kept moving past the small window. Why were you in a hurry? You were in a hurry? To go where? I was on my way to the backstage exit, as I have said. Why were you in such a hurry then? Well, I don't think that has anything to do with this case. It very well might. Please answer that question.
Objection!
Are you alright, Lamiroir? Yes, I'm just tired. Recall what I told you yesterday, Air Forehead. Lamiroir suffers from serious amnesia. Please refrain from traumatizing her further. What? So you can just dismiss questions he thinks are too traumatizing? Why don't you prove her reason had a connection to the case before asking about it, yeah? The prosecution's objection is sustained. The current question is moot, Mr. Justice. Please continue with your cross-examination. Lamiroir was attacked because of this testimony. I know she was, so something's got to be hidden here. Maybe there's some detail we're missing. I guess we'll just have to get her to fill the blanks. Like pressing. Right! Yeah, okay. Press the switch. Besides the lights, what switch do you think it could be? Remote trigger. Okay, let's present that.
Objection!
Press the switch. There's only one key that can unlock the mystery of those words. Oh? Yet there was nothing at the scene that could be called a switch, save the lights. Lights. True, there wasn't a switch at the scene. But it just so happens I have a switch right here. That certainly does look like a switch, doesn't it? Problem is, this was found not at the scene of the crime, but on this stage. This stage? Where the concert was held, yes? This was found hidden there. In piano. On the stage. Are you claiming that the voice Lamiroir heard was of someone commanding another to press the switch? Maybe the switch moved? I don't know. It's a possibility.
Objection!
Oh, Air Forehead, I call that an impossibility. Why? It's hardly necessary for me to remind the court of the layout of the concert forum. The stage is quite far from Lamiroir's dressing room. Not to mention that the gatherers were in the middle of a concert on said stage. We are known for being a quiet band. Sorry. You could shout all you wanted and not be heard. The detective's voice was loud, but certainly not a shout. So too have Air Forehead's cries of possibility fallen far short of being heard. Sorry, but he wouldn't have needed to shout. Excuse me? What the heck? You heard what I said, or do you need me to shout it out for you? It would have been quite simple to be heard on the stage from that dressing room. Oh wait, you like evidence, don't you? How about this? So Smuggable, using this, it would be easy to get a message to someone on stage from the dressing room. You know, this headset, you know, with what I'm wearing. Prosecutor Gavin, perhaps you're familiar with this? Why is that? What? What is it? Is that some kind of newfangled phone they invented while I wasn't looking? Oh gosh. This is a type of transmitter, a communications device. Communications device? From what I've heard that night, everyone on stage was wearing one of these. Isn't that right, Prosecutor Gavin? Ah, yes, actually, they're for talking between band members. We all had one on. So you admit that if you were wearing one of these, talking from the backstage to the stage would be simple.
Objection!
Now what? True, but wait, those sent out an electronic signal to avoid interference with the audio systems. Their range is quite limited. Lamiroir said it was about 30 feet, right? Look at this cross-section diagram in the concert forum that you showed us earlier when you were explaining as well. Ah, exactly. The walk from the stage to the backstage seems far, but the direct distance to is less than 30 feet. That can't be! Oh, his music's so weird when he's like, ah! Yeah. So, when Lamiroir heard the shooter's voice, he could have been talking to someone on stage!
Objection!
Now what? Ha! You're claiming this is the switch in question? Why did it have to be on the stage at the time? I could have placed it in a pocket and carried it anywhere! Oh yeah, that's true. So I could have hid it on the stage after the fact. Hey, he's got a point! How do we know where it was when she heard the voice? When the shooter said press the switch? Well, I guess we don't. An unfortunate situation. There goes the music. I'm afraid that until we know where the switch was, there's little point in debating it. Ugh. I was sure this was the way to go with this. What is the switch, anyway? We don't even know that basic fact. Wait a second. I do know what this switch is. Because you burned Emma. And if you follow that train of logic to its incredible conclusion, it ends up in proof that completely changes this case. What's up, Apollo? Apollo? We know about this switch, right? We know what it is. Yeah? Well, think of when it was used that day. Think of what happened. Well, Mr. Justice, if you have no further information to share concerning this switch... Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Justice? I've been remiss in not telling the court of this court before. I know what the switch is. Well, it seems the defense is set upon linking the switch to the case. Let's see your evidence of the link. What evidence do you have to explain what the switch is? Remember when Apollo pressed the switch, something exploded on Emma. Oh, well, there's two of the igniters, but yeah. Pastor Gavin, you remember this? That's what? Is it another one of those newfangled phones? This is the igniter. What phone looks like this? Igniter? You mean it's like a lighter? Yes, actually, you aren't saying this switch is a remote. I am. This is a remote trigger for igniter. We were about to present the remote trigger to Gavin when we were investigating, but Apollo, like, we should use this for ammunition for the trial. You know, I'm just like that. What? I can't speak very well right now. Look, I'll show you. Yo! Messages you will cease and desist from burning down this courtroom. Sorry, that was a bit more fire than I expected. You should know better than that, okay? You, like hurt you hurt Emma the other day, jeez. That was suicide caught on fire. Prosecutor Gavin, let me repeat myself. This switch is a remote igniter trigger. Doesn't that suggest something to you? You're talking about what happened to me, aren't you? Ah! Exactly. That night at the concert, there was one unusual burst of flame. My guitar caught fire in the middle of a performance. That's hilarious to see that again and again. Wasn't that part of the stage show, though? Prosecutor Gavin was entirely unaware such a thing had been planned, and the guitar that burned was a valuable keepsake. That's right, he got it in Virginia from Lamiroir. He said the sound was amazing before it burned, of course. Now it just kind of smokes. The better the guitar, the brighter it burns. Air forehead. Yes? Don't tell me you're trying to tie these two things together. Those being the shooter's voice heard by Lamiroir, and the guitar suddenly catching on fire. I am. It's really simple when you think about it. This makes almost no sense to me. Mr. Latouche and the shooter were the crime scene. The shooter was wearing a headset. He ordered someone on stage to press the switch. The switch was pressed and the guitar caught fire. Well, that does seem to make sense, though something about it is bugging me. Can't quite put my finger on it. Really? It seems pretty simple to me.